Imagine two people standing at the same starting line. Same background, same talents, same opportunities. Fast forward 5 years, and one of them is thriving, living their dream, earning more than they ever imagined, and making an impact on others. While the other, well, they're still stuck. Still talking about what they want to do, still waiting for the right time. If they were standing at the same starting line, what made the difference? It wasn't luck. It wasn't intelligence. It wasn't even motivation. The difference is one of them began with the end in mind, while the other just sat there hoping for success. Most people chase success the wrong way. They try different things, they work really, really hard, and hope for results. I love what Myron Golden said. Myron said, working hard is not the recipe for success. It's the recipe for exhaustion. Those that actually achieve their goals, they don't just work harder, they work smarter. They don't start from the bottom and try to figure it out as they go. They start with the outcome they want and work backward to create a clear path. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. In order to do this, we first have to understand the concept of reverse engineering success. Reverse engineering, simply put, means starting with the end in mind and working backward to figure out exactly what needs to happen to get you to that end. Think of it like this. If you were going to build a puzzle, would you start by just randomly trying to put pieces together? If you would, don't come build a puzzle with me. Because the proper way would be to look at the picture first. Hey, what's the picture on the box look like? And then once you get a clear image of what the picture should look like, then you go to work on finding the pieces that fit. Well, success works the same way. Let's take the Wright Brothers. Before the Wright Brothers invented the airplane, most of the people that were trying to do the same were guessing their way through trial and error. The Wright Brothers actually reverse engineered their first flight. Instead of just building random machines, they studied how birds flew. They actually broke it down scientifically, lift, drag, thrust, balance, before they ever built a plane. And that is why they succeeded when others failed. What about Elon and SpaceX? Musk didn't start SpaceX by trying to randomly build rockets. He reverse engineered the cost of space travel. He identified inefficiencies, found ways to reuse rocket parts, and mapped out the entire business backward from the goal. So what about you? Think of a big goal you have. Are you trying to piece the puzzle together without having the picture? Or have you studied how others got there? Have you mapped out the steps, the skills, or the habits that it's going to take to accomplish your goal? So how do we do it? How do we begin with the end in mind? Step 1 is define the destination. Clarity is power. Success without clarity is just a wish. You can't build what you can't define. So do you have a vague goal or do you have a clear goal? Vague goal says, I want to be rich. Clear goal says, I want to earn $1 million a month through my business. Vague goal, I want to be a successful author. Clear goal, I want to sell 100,000 copies of my book within the next 2 years. I read about Arnold Schwarzenegger and how before he was a world champion bodybuilder, he visualized the success before it was real. Arnold didn't just say, I want to be strong. He said, I will be Mr. Olympia. Saw the goal first, mapped out how to get there, took action. So for you, start by writing down your exact success definition. And I would challenge you that if you can't define it in one sentence, you do not have a clear goal, you have a wish. Step 2 is to identify the milestones. This is when you are really mapping the path backward. Now, there are 2 ways to look at goals. One way is to say, in 3 years, I want $1 million in my business. Another way is to say, I want a successful business. These are the actions I'm going to take every day, or these are the actions that I'm going to take at these intervals, and I'm going to allow the result to be what it is. Both ways work. It depends on what will best keep you motivated and keep you moving forward towards your goal. I personally love the objective route where you focus on becoming and allow the result to do what it does, because then you are not supremely disappointed if the result that you came up with you didn't hit. Think New Year's resolutions. But also, you don't place a cap on what God wants to do in your life. You mean I could have went there? Well, let me keep going. Number 3, extract the key habits and skills required to get to your goal. What will actually move the needle? So we started with getting the picture. After we saw the picture, we made milestones so we can measure our progress. But after measuring the progress, we then have to figure out what do we need to do daily, weekly, monthly to ultimately move the needle towards those targets. What separates people who are a success from people that struggle is not talent, it's what they do daily. So once you extract the key habits and skills that are required, list them out. What are 3 daily or weekly habits that would guarantee me success in this area based on research, based on the success of what other people have done? What are the patterns I see in those that are ultimately a success in this area? Stop guessing. Look at what those who you admire did in order to get to where you want to be. Number 4, find and eliminate bottlenecks. Most people focus on what they need to do without considering what is holding them back. I heard that Warren Buffett has a not to-do list as well as a to-do list. Buffett is quoted as saying that the secret to success isn't just in what you focus on, it's also in what you avoid. So I challenge you to write down what 3 distractions, bad habits, or limiting beliefs are currently holding you back. And the whole idea about step number 4 is the simple fact that success isn't just about addition. Sometimes it's about subtraction. Step 5, create a system. Success shouldn't rely on willpower. How do top performers stay on track? 2 things that I've noticed is number 1, they don't rely on motivation. And number 2, they schedule success through their routines, through their habits, and through accountability partners. So for you, turn that goal into a schedule and treat your dream like it's an appointment that can't be missed. Now, we're talking about a blueprint to begin with the end, but it's important to acknowledge that even with the blueprint, people fall into traps that keep them stuck. 3 traps to be aware of. The very first one is perfectionism, thinking I need the perfect plan. The second trap is overcomplicating the process. You're either adding more to it than is necessary, or you're thinking that you personally need to do everything. And the third is a lack of adaptability. And a lack of adaptability basically says that if your plan fails, you fail. But flexibility in life is supremely important, especially on your growth journey. Even if the picture stays the same, the way you go about accomplishing the picture needs to be adaptable. After you have the plan, you need to focus on taking action instead of waiting. I'm reminded of Jeff Bezos. I read that in the early 90s, he had a high-paying job at an investment firm on Wall Street. He was successful by conventional standards already. But then he came across a statistic. The internet was growing at 2,300% a year. That number stuck with him. He eventually saw an opportunity. But here's the key that I want you to remember. He didn't have all the answers. He didn't know exactly how to build an online business. He didn't even have experience in retail. And he had also never run a company before. So Jeff Bezos was presented with the very same thought process that we are often presented with ourselves. He could have said, I should wait until I have more experience. He could have said, I need to have a perfect business plan first. He could have said, maybe in a few years when I have more money saved. But instead, he took action before he felt ready. He started with the end goal. He started with the picture, which was to build an online business that took advantage of the internet boom. He identified the best entry point, which was researching which products would best sell, and he ended up landing on books. He broke it down into milestones, meaning he didn't try to launch the empire overnight, rather started with a single category with plans to expand later. And he took immediate action, quit his job, moved to Seattle, and launched Amazon from his garage. At the time, people thought he was crazy, especially considering online retail was still new and big bookstores dominated the market. But Bezos understood something that most don't. Success doesn't wait for perfect conditions. And if you don't take action, someone else will. Imagine if he had waited. Someone else might have built Amazon. Now, they probably wouldn't have called it Amazon, but you get what I'm saying. The opportunity would have passed. But because he took action, he turned a small online bookstore into one of the biggest companies in history. And I want to challenge you that the opportunity in front of you will not be there forever. Someone else, someone with less experience, someone with fewer resources, someone who has the exact same 24 hours as you do, will take action while you hesitate. So ask yourself, what's one thing you keep telling yourself that you'll do someday? What's stopping you from starting now? And if you wait another year, will you actually be any more ready than you are today? The longer you wait, the more opportunities you let slip through your fingers. Success isn't magic. Success is a formula. And if you could take the time to study the patterns of those who have won, you can win too. No one is better than you. And there's something in you that the world needs to be expressed. Stop waiting and design your success story today. If you enjoyed this video, don't just sit there, do something. Subscribe to this channel. And if you're already a subscriber and you enjoyed the video, share it with someone who you think will enjoy it as well. Always remember that growth is a journey, it's not a destination. I'm in it with you, and I'll see you on the next one.